Okay, like I said, I wanted to record a vlog about basically the reason why those videos in the Let's Play took so long to get here, and why well, basically the new method I'm using to record and the trials I went through to come up with that method. I can't. I'm terrible at these introductions. Let's just get on with the content. So, if you'll look right here, you'll see... Well, wait, there's only one. Oh, there's only one video? Oh, this must be where I got halfway through. Well, I guess just right here, you can see, the first video I recorded, in the Golem Mine place, and for some reason or another, I didn't like it. I can't remember why. No, I don't remember why. But like a week later, I was like, no, it wasn't a week later. It was the same day. I'm getting confused. Derpy derp, derpy derpy derp. So I recorded over them again. And then at some point, I think it was the episode number 18, didn't save. And I had to redo it. And you know what happens when I have to redo an episode? I spend the entire episode wondering which things were in the video that didn't save. You know, trying to remember which running jokes have not been introduced yet. You know, like which things I came up with in that last video that I assume you've heard, but that you haven't because they were in the last video. So that made me hate these videos. And then weeks went by, and I never felt like editing them because it's a long process. I have to watch through the entire video in Camtasia, and I have to watch through the entire video. A couple of, it basically comes out to about watching the video 3 times a piece. Because I go over it, checking the volume of my game, checking the volume of my voice, so making sure it fits. Or, not fits, but that both of us are audible. And if I'm not paying attention, then I rewatch parts until I am paying attention. And so I have to devote a lot of time and effort to it, and I never felt like doing that for these videos. I just didn't like them enough. And that's why it took me a month and a half to record new videos. And so I switched to Cam Studio. The reason being because in Cam Studio, I can't edit things. So I have no method of the audio the audio, my voice, and the game are recorded together, so I can't overdub lines. I can't I can't adjust my volume relative to the game. I gotta do that beforehand. And I also don't have to worry about the very awkward way I rendered videos in Camtasia. I had to tell it to share to YouTube, and then after I put in my username and password and it started uploading, I would disconnect from the internet so that it would fail. Because usually it would fail, but sometimes it did go through. Well, one time, when I didn't disconnect from the internet, the first couple of times it didn't go through, but then after a while I noticed it was going through, and my videos were going up with these names like just render in or something like that, assuming it would fail. So now I disconnect from the internet because I want it to fail. Because what happens when it fails is it lets me save the file. I want it to let me save the file so that I can upload it on my own. And that gets really annoying because Camtasia will crash if I disconnect from the internet before putting in my username and password. If I click share to YouTube and I'm not connected to the internet, boom, it crashes. So I gotta connect to the internet, put in my credentials, disconnect. All the while when I'm dealing with this program that's very unstable, recording and stuff. So far, Cam Studio has been a pleasure. It's been pretty stable so far. There's a couple other reasons why I switched. One of them is because I was experimenting on Linux. I really wanted to get the Let's Plays to work on Linux. I couldn't. I found a program that could record stuff on screen in Linux. I didn't know that there I mean, it's the first screencasting software I heard of for Linux. Record My Desktop, it's called. And it actually has capital letters in the name, which, if you're a Linux user, you'll find very annoying. But I got Record My Desktop, and I couldn't get it to record my game and both my game and my voice, because, you know, I'm using a laptop. I have a broken front headphone port. The laptop always thinks that there's... Okay, and I'm talking slow. I mean, if you haven't noticed, sometimes I'm really slowing down mid-word, or at least I was, because I have my headphones on, and I'm hearing this echo, and for some reason that slows me down, hearing my voice. It's like I'm waiting for myself. I'm waiting to hear myself finish a word before I finish the word. It's strange. I don't know, but sometimes it slows me down. So, moving on. Where was I? I was off track, that's where I was. What is on track? Linux, right. I just couldn't get it to work. I tried setting up everything through Jack, because I can't just, turn up my speakers real loud and position my microphone so that it can hear both me and the game. That's what many Let's Players can do, but I can't do that because I don't have speakers. There are speakers built into my laptop, but my laptop is not even able to use them. And even then, if it could use them, you know, if my front headphone port wasn't broken and my laptop didn't think that there was always headphones in it, that's why I can't use the speakers. It always thinks there's headphones in there. Even if it wasn't broken, the speakers are literally like 5 inches away from, like 7 inches away from the microphone that's built into my laptop. It would sound bad. You would hear echo. I mean, you would hear a lot of reverberation. It was like the sound passing through the frame. So I have to try and do some witchcraft trickery to get the sound. I mean, to try and get both my voice and the computer audio on a single audio thing. That's the only way I can get it to work. I couldn't get that to work in Jack. Partly because of... In order to, because of how my headphone port is broken, and like if I plug headphones in there, I was only getting mono roll. Remember me complaining about that in every video? I've not been complaining about that lately because I have a new sound card. It's a USB sound card. You plug it in. It's a separate it basically is just this little. What's the word? There's a word for it. It's a funny word. What is that word? Dongle. It's this little dongle, which I'm going to prove to you is a technical word. It's a dongle with just a single headphone jack and a microphone jack. You see, this is a dongle. It's just something that goes into a port. Basically, a little stick. That's all it is. It's a little stick. It's nothing. It counts as a sound card. In order for you to get, in order for you to add something to your computer that has audio input or output, it's a sound card. By every definition of the word, it is a sound card. I think my voice is maxing out. Well, I don't know, this isn't necessary. Well, actually, if any one thing is maxing out, aside from this, if this maxes out, that doesn't mean my voice is clipping. But if this does, then my voice is clipping. Sorry, I gotta move my... Okay. Right, so, I couldn't get to work on Linux because of how Jack works. Jack lets you take output from any sort of thing and reroute it as input to something else. It's awfully unstable. I had it crash on, by the end, the only thing I could get it to do was crash. I would start up the Jack server. It's called a server. I don't know why it's called a server, but I would start up the Jack server, basically the program, and then anything would break these things I created. These things called the Jack source and Jack sync. These two input and output devices that I created by installing some pulse audio module jack thing, and adding these devices through some config file. I don't know. I followed a walkthrough on the internet, and it worked for the most part. I got these two devices made. I'm still not really sure what they did, but I could link them up to other things, and I think I was able to get sound and both the microphone and video game audio at one thing at some point. I couldn't hear it though, because of the sound card issue, and the fact that I have to listen through this. I have to listen through headphones plugged into this. And then Jack started crashing. It would literally crash just if I did something like this. Like Windows R to bring up the run dialog, which of course looks different in GNOME. I would click cancel, and that would cause Jack to have an X run, and then those two, the source and sync would disappear. Wonderful. Dude, I've already gone to 15 minutes. If you're actually still listening by this point, then I'm assuming you care a bit. So I guess I'll keep going because I can. I don't know. Am I boring you guys? You can stop watching the video right now. Good, still here? Good. Now about how I am recording it now. This is so messed up. So, here's the thing. Cam Studio can only record one, I don't want to mess around with this when it's, basically, I have it recording this. This is something provided by my sound card. Oh, and that was one of the biggest problems in Linux. This was not there in Linux. This is provided by my sound card. Linux doesn't see it. But what this is this is the sound coming from my, this is how I am able to record sound on my computer. This right here represents speakers. Not all sound cards have this, and some it has different names, you know, like what you hear. Back in Windows XP, I think there was actually Windows provided support for it. You didn't need a sound card that had support for it. You just recorded the stereo mix thing. I think that was there on every sound card. But now you need a sound card that provides it. This is what I record. This is my microphone. And here's where it gets crazy. And this is why there's a latency, and why everything I say comes up, isn't heard until a bit later. I use the listen thing. What this does is, it makes my voice, what I'm saying in the microphone, come out here. Then, well, you know what this is, because, this is the exact same thing as this. As long as this is a default device. I've noticed that when I change the default device, this records nothing. Oh, no, it's still getting that thing. Oh yeah, the default device has to do with programs. You have no idea what I'm talking about. But basically, I had some trouble getting it to. I gotta lower the volume. Can you still hear me? Okay, that might be a bit better now. No, that's too quiet. How about now? Okay. So right, everything that goes in here comes out here, as does the game. See, if I start up the game. Well, let's raise the volume of the game. Just take my word for it. Just take my word for it. So yeah, anyways, basically, when I tell Windows to listen to this and play through the speakers, I'm telling it to play through here. Then, what I have to do, in order for me to hear it, is I have to listen to this, and I have to play it through my USB sound card, so that I can hear it. Because here's the thing, the recorded playback is playback being sent through my main sound card. I can't hear that. So in order for me to hear something, I need to do that. And so actually I hear twice as much latency as you hear. I am slow. Well, what else can I say while still holding your attention? Maybe I can juggle. I'm juggling, just take my word for it. What else? There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. What are you wearing? I don't know, I can't remember. As soon as I hit the stop recording button, I don't know, I'm not done. Or am I? You'll find out after the break.